Hi friends, I am here in my very messy desk. So while I clean up, I am going to chat with you about getting your home ready for winter in Texas. So, sort of. So there are just a few tips to get ready for what might be a really cold winter, might not. I'm not a meteorologist. I'm just here to give you some ideas and remind you of things that most of the time us Texans don't think about until we need them right now. So now would be a good time to call your favorite HVAC provider and have them come out just to do your routine maintenance. Now, this can cost probably around $100, but let me just tell you, it's worth doing before you need it, because if you flick on that thermostat, because it's getting chilly in the house and it doesn't work, I guarantee you 13 people already called in and he's not going to get to your house until, I don't know, next week, and then you're going to be cold. The other thing that maybe you'll want to do some maintenance or cleaning on is your fireplace. Now, not everybody in Texas has a fireplace because it doesn't get all that cold, but if you have a fireplace, it's a really good idea to get it cleaned before you start using it each year. Just want to make sure there's no nests or animals living up there that when you start that first fire would have a pretty scary eviction notice. The other important thing that I would say would be at the top of your list of things to do before it gets cold would be to clean out your gutters. If your gutters are full of leaves and debris, when a big rain comes and then it gets really cold that night, it could create what they call ice dams. And if we have an ice dam and water backs up against it, it could come in through any maybe small leaks or cracks between the roof and the gutter. So it's good to just have the gutters nice and clean so that when it rains, they do their job and they carry the water away from your home. Another thing to take care of on the outside of your house would be to get those little insulation covers for all of your faucets or spigots or any piping that might be on the exterior of your structure. You just want to make sure that anything that has water in it that stays, like the water stays in it, like those spigots where the hose is attached to, just want to keep those as warm as we can. So you can get those little covers that go on top of the spigots at Base, on Amazon, Home Depot, H-E-B, Walmart, nod. Get those before it gets cold, because once it gets cold, everybody's at the store getting the same thing as you. I highly recommend doing before it starts to get cold is draining and storing all of those outside water hoses. Now, it may not get cold enough to freeze any water that's left over in them, but the elements over the winter can sometimes be harsh. So it makes more sense just to put all that stuff away so you can make sure that it's good quality when spring comes around and you're ready to start watering. And of course, it's always good to plan for the worst. Now, if you've lived in Central Texas for any time, you know that things can get a little wild and unpredictable. So if we get some inclement weather and there's a chance that your power might go off, it's important to be prepared for that. So blankets, batteries, some non-perishable food items, water, flashlight, candles, matches, firewood to have your fire. You want to keep yourself warm if the power ends up going out. All these things are just good to have around just in case. I always say if you have an umbrella, it's not going to rain. So best to be prepared for the worst so that it doesn't happen. Coming into this most amazing time of the year with the holidays and all of the fun, family coming together, sharing all this joy and all the beautiful lights and Christmas trees and decorations out there. I know the last thing anybody cares about is getting their home ready for winter, but I promise you, doing it now and preparing and being ready for when it comes is a much better plan than all of a sudden it's 30 degrees outside and you realize that you didn't cover the water spouts, because a water leak is the last thing you want to deal with when it's cold. So just to recap, the things that I recommend taking care of before the weather turns cold would be getting your heating systems maintenanced, getting those covers for all of your outside water spigots, making sure that all of your gutters and downspouts are clean so that the water can flow freely, getting all of the outside pipes insulated, removing all of your water hoses, draining them and storing them in an inside location, garage, storage shed, whatever you have, and of course, just being prepared for the worst. If you found this helpful or you know anybody who might find it helpful, feel free to leave me a comment, share it with a friend. Here to help any way we can.